Ladies and gentlemen, boys and ladyboys, we are so back again after arguably the most boring 3 days of my life, watching every Helldivers to YouTube content creator and live streamer going live to stare at a timer in 30-second intervals to encrypt data. But we're here. We made it. Everything's fine. We're here. It all worked out. I'd like to give you a very brief, no fluff, no BS guide to the weapon customization, the new enemies, and highlight a couple of what I feel are the most important changes that they've made to the existing weapons. So let's go ahead and get into it. The weapon customization system is unbelievable. In addition to allowing you to customize each weapon, you can save up to 4 loadout presets, essentially giving you 4 copies of every single primary weapon in the game, which is insanity. What I immediately noticed is that 1, the primary weapon gets the exact amount of experience that your Helldiver gets when you complete a mission. 2, you do not get experience if you do not complete a mission. You must extract or at least complete the mission and then leave the game. And 3, the progression system appears to be the same as the Helldiver leveling system. I went from level 1 to 5 in my first Super Helldive, all side objectives complete mission with 1765 experience. And then on my second mission with 1680 experience, I went from level 5 to level 6 and a quarter. So the fall off is tremendous. Again, just like Helldiver's progression. When you are choosing an attachment in the weapon customization system, not only is it showing you how each attachment will affect the overall stats of the gun that you're altering, but they also give you a recoil sim to the right of the stats. And what it appears to be is simulating firing the weapon in 1 second intervals. And it's representing for you on a graph around the crosshair, if you were to fire at that rate, where those bullets are going to impact. But I can tell you that if the dots are closer together, you're probably on the right track. Let's talk about the new enemies. We've got a Crescent Overseer, which appears to have some sort of cannon on his shoulder that can shoot a mortar type round in an arc like a bile spewer, but can also shoot straight like a regular Overseer. But it seems to do much less damage. The Crescent Overseers also do not have a shield. They appear to have the exact same armor rating as standard Overseers, being that they have plates that are destroyed on their chest and head, but their arms and legs are completely unarmored, so hitting them there will be a kill shot. They don't seem to be very dangerous. You barely notice them as you fight. They can get annoying if they stack, when you have 5 to 10 of these things lobbing rounds at you while you're trying to evade Voteless. And the new enemy that we're going to talk about in a moment, I can see how they'd probably be frustrating, but so far I haven't had a lot of issues with them. Basically just throw a stratagem out there where they are. They're usually grouped up and they're all dead, no problem. The next new enemy type is called a Fleshmob, which apparently is a large mass of Voteless that have been morphed together in a disgusting, undemocratic blob of alien flesh. While they seem to be slow, they are incredibly fast. They run at you, probably the same speed or faster than a standard Voteless does, and they can turn just like a charger, defying gravity, and their range with their stupid 12 arms is tremendous. So you'll want to avoid these again the same way as a charger. Kind of run at them on an angle, run towards them, maybe like a 45 to the left or right. That will kind of force them to stop their charge, and you can give them the business. They don't appear to have any sort of weak spot or armored spot. They just apparently have one giant health pool because every shot that I do against them is full damage. I haven't had a lot of luck using some of the non-explosive primary weapons. They just don't seem to do enough damage. I was using the Jar 5 for a little bit. What I feel is the most effective primary weapon is the Eruptor, which was actually just buffed. If you didn't watch the video where they discussed the buffs to some of the primary weapons, the Eruptor received a buff where the shrapnel was changed. It was 180 and now it is 360, which is absolutely amazing. You immediately notice it when you start using the gun. So that being the case, my favorite way to kill flesh mobs is 1 with the Eruptor. 3 good shots with the Eruptor will kill a flesh mob. And the second way that I've been dealing with them, besides a heavy machine gun, which by the way takes half a magazine, is to use the flamethrower. The other gun that they significantly buffed, or I should say the burning effect caused by the flamethrower was buffed. Again, if you didn't catch the patch notes or the video, what they said was that the rate of burning is relative to the size of the enemy. So a voteless will burn slower than, for instance, a Fleshmob. But once they catch on fire, they die very quickly. You can also use laser weapons. In this case, I was using the Guard Dog Rover, which actually killed several of the Fleshmob by itself. So all in all, bringing fire to not just kill the Fleshmob, but also the rest of the Illuminate feels very comfortable and trivializes the Illuminate invasion force. I also use the Eruptor on many of the other enemies, and the 360-degree shrapnel feels amazing. What they also changed, which is tremendous and was heavily requested, is the spread that each weapon has after you fire. So that's to say that where each shot will go randomly after you fire the gun, which is ridiculous. Why does that even exist? Thank God it doesn't anymore. So what they've done is they have made it so that there is recoil and weapon sway that is more impactful to the actual shot. So if you are running, if you have sprinted, you're out of stamina, and you try to fire, your gun will sway up and down, left and right, etc. And if you are shooting a lighter gun, like a pistol, you will have greater sway than a heavier gun, like the Eruptor, the Jar 5, the heavy machine gun, etc. And I think once you start playing the game, you notice that immediately. It feels unbelievable. It feels so much better. Your shots are going where you put them. You are in control of where they go because you are aiming somewhere, and where you are aiming is where your rounds are impact. Just feels really, really good. The game feels more responsive, I think, generally. Weapon switching feels very quick. Reloading, I think the reloading bug has been resolved. I don't have any confirmation on that. I don't know if it was in a patch note somewhere. Diving and recovering from diving feels great. I dive a lot in this game. I noticed immediately that it feels better. In addition to flame weapons and the Eruptor, you can also kill the Fleshmob with one Thermite. Run away. Just like any other enemy that you throw a Thermite at, and it will blow up in one hit. My overall opinion is that this is a big W for Arrowhead. In their words, it created 500 plus hours of content. I don't know that that's the case, but based on what I saw with the experience gain, that actually might be an accurate estimate. I'm extremely excited to unlock everything for each primary weapon. We are waiting for the new War Bond to drop on May 15th. Hopefully it's better than it looks. All in all, I think this was a tremendous W for Arrowhead Games. Again, I really appreciate the work that they do. I think they've made a fantastic game. If you found this video helpful, if you enjoyed this type of content, go ahead and leave me a like or a subscribe. I try to make videos once a week. I post content every day, and you can go catch me on a live stream. Thanks a lot. Take care, everybody.